Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome in and welcome back. Happy Monday to y'all. How y'all feeling today, man? Look, we got a funny one on our hands today, man. Look, I'm gonna tell you like this. I don't like when the police excessively use their force. It makes no sense to me. If you can't control your anger, you can't control your feelings. You know what I'm saying? If you can't control yourself from feeling played because somebody's calling you out your name, you probably shouldn't need to be a police officer. Them three things right there should not be a police officer at all. You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't be. But anyways, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to let the guy tell you himself because he can tell you better than I can. We're going to watch this video and watch this K-9 officer get on his, how should I say this? Get on his owner's ass for being unprofessional. You know what I mean? You should have. It's crazy. Anyways, let's get into it.
One thing and one thing well. Identify. A cop decides to body slam a black male. His own dog, the K-9, turns against the police. Here it is.
You want to go? I don't know, bro.
Anyways, I'm gonna let the guy.
He can bite me. Well, he actually. What he do? He ain't do that. He ain't.
Yo, we're gonna pause that right there, y'all, chat. We're gonna pause that right there, chat. We're gonna pause that right there, chat. Matter of fact, we're gonna. Now look at this, chat. Look at, you see this? You see how this officer has the guy? First of all, let me remember, if I remember this correctly. All right, when you're a K-9, I could be wrong, but when you're a K-9 unit, you're not supposed to be getting physical like that with the people, especially with your K-9 companion right there. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure. Now, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to be getting physical. You're supposed to call backup, wait for them to arrive, and then do what you do. You know what I mean? Just for the sake of the K-9, you know what I mean? That K-9's there to figure out who's the aggressor. And when the officer's being the aggressor, guess what? That K-9's going to jump on them, regardless of whether or not you are his boss, his commander, whatever you want to call it. That K-9 is trained. The K-9, let me repeat this again. The K-9 is trained, okay, to identify and pick out the aggressor, okay? When this officer did this to this young black man, right, that only was holding his hands up. He didn't do anything else wrong. The man was unarmed. He stepped in for the lady that was in the black woman that was in the bikini, okay? Probably his girl. I would have did the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, that K-9 was like, whoa, wait a minute. Why are you being aggressive? You know what I mean? And that K-9 identified the officer as the aggressor and bit his ass. I mean, that's what happens, man. You can't, like. Look, I'm gonna rewind it for y'all. Look at that shit. Hold on, we're gonna rewind this shit. Look at this.
Decides to body slam a black male. His own.
Shout out to Indisputable for giving us this video, allowing us to be able to react to it, man. Look, appreciate you, man, for allowing this, pulling this out, putting this out here for everybody to see it. I'm just spreading the news, you know what I mean? Because like I said, I think we need police that actually police, okay? Good with the community, okay? You know what I mean? Good with the people and not aggressive towards the people unless you absolutely have to be aggressive towards people.
Dog, the K-9, turns against the police. Here it is.
You want to go?
First of all, why is this officer? I'm sorry, Chad, keep pausing this, but there's a lot of shit going on in this 6.5 minute video right here. Why is this officer aggressively approaching this black unarmed woman in a bikini so aggressively? Like, is this how? Like, I'm just gonna pause.
He can bite me. Well, he asked him. What he do?
Look at that. What did he do? That man did absolutely nothing, chat. Watch. In case you missed it, watch it again.
Well, he asked him. What he do?
Look, what are you grabbing this man for, man? And then the dog gonna bite his ass. Bite his ass.
Put up the picture full mass.
Chat, man. Look at that shit, man.
The K-9 is considered to be a unit officer. The reason it is considered to be a unit officer is because it has gone through training. It is trained to primarily do one thing and one thing well. Identify the aggressor, the one committing the criminal act. The K-9 unit is first seen with dog by his side yelling at the young adults in a parking as he used the German Shepherd to disperse the revelers. At one point, he appears to be arresting a young woman in a bikini. A young man tries to peacefully intervene, but the cop body slams that young man to the ground, even though he held his hands up. Now, I have issues with animals being utilized in law enforcement, period. I think it is a bad practice. But you cannot negate.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that on that. Let me know what y'all think down in the chat, man. Look, let me know down there in the chat what y'all think. But I think I'm gonna have to disagree with that part though, because I mean, just think of it. How many officers actually feel safe with their K-9 with them? You know what I mean? I mean, the K-9, honestly, don't. I'm not being racist or nothing like that, but a lot of black folks are afraid of dogs. You know what I'm saying? A lot of black folks are afraid of dogs. So, I mean, in a way, I can see it, but I don't. I mean, completely understand having K-9s. I mean, why not? If they want to do the job and stuff, you know what I'm saying? As long as they're not being forcefully made to do anything, you know what I mean? They're not being beat into it, you know, none of that. They're not being mistreated or anything like that. I don't see anything wrong with it. You know what I mean? But that's just my opinion. Like I said, that's me, my opinion. I'm entitled to my own opinion just like y'all are. So, I mean, let me know down in the chat, though, what y'all think. Y'all think K-9 should be eliminated from the police force? Do you think they're a good addition to the police force? I think it's good, me personally. I mean, look at this. Look at this situation right here. I mean, the aggressor, which was the K-9 officer, you know, the dog's handler was the aggressor, and look what the K-9 turned around and was like, "Nah, motherfucker, you ain't about to do this," and bit his own handler. I mean, come on, man. Somebody's got to hold up the law in this bitch. And if it ain't gonna be the officer, at least we can rely on the K-9 to hold up the law, to enforce the law. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about it. Because, look, the K-9 just proved himself right there. I mean, look at that shit. K-9 is trained, y'all. The K-9 is trained to identify the aggressor. And it identified the aggressor, which was that police officer. Y'all think about that.
The irony of this situation. This dog is loyal. The K-9 is loyal to that officer in that unit. That officer, or those officers, feed that domesticated animal. The officers provide care for that domesticated animal. However, when it came down to it, you have to understand the context of this. I've been saying on Indisputable since day one, when a cop arrests another cop while the cop is engaged in the criminal activity in front of them, we would have arrived. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got a different version of that. The K-9 cop is the first cop in history to literally attempt to arrest a cop while the cop is in commission of said act. Let's get to it. Daily Mail reports.
For real.
It wasn't.
Kudos, K-9.
The only incident where cops were using dogs to tame spring break crowds. These are children.
Right.
In Panama City. Video captured police unleashing at least one dog on its town's beach after major gun bus turned up 75 illegal guns. Dozens of partygoers were seen on the video hurriedly running from the approaching K-9. The crowd is angered, screaming at the officer, and insisting the young man he tackled, quote, didn't do anything. And obviously, the K-9 agreed.
Mm-hmm.
The chaos seemed to confuse the K-9, who turned and bit his cop handler.
Mm-hmm.
Let the K-9 speak for himself. I think his actions were quite clear.
Oh, God.
Okay. Quote, oh my
What
God.
y'all think, chat?
He's biting him, one of the onlookers exclaimed. He's biting his ass, end quote. I want you to see the look on this cop's face in this particular still.
Yeah. Look at that.
Okay.
Look at that, chat.
Look at the other cop.
Look at that, chat. The other cop, she look like she's trying to tell the dog to bite him. Like she looks like the K-9 handler's like, oh shit, you know what I mean? And the other officer looked like she's pointing at the black guy like, bite him. Like, dude, this is crazy, man. Bro, this is fucking crazy. The dog has more sense than this weak-minded as human being piece of shit for an officer. And then the bitch right next to him, she ain't making it no better either. She pointing at the black man like bite him, like she tried to tell the dog to bite him. Look at this. I can't make this up, chat. We're looking at it right here in front of us. Like I've literally got to pause. Like they. That's crazy, man. Literally, that's just crazy.
Neither one of them are looking at the black male anymore. Social media was quick to defend the K-9, quote, cop needs to be fired. Fur baby cop deserves a treat, wrote one commenter on IG. Good boy. Another quote, now that's a well-trained dog. And the dog is the real one, protecting and serving. If this goes like normal, the dog will be investigated and trumped up charges will soon come. All right, dear brother, thoughts here.
Well, Dr. Richey, in the words of an illustrious poet, DMX, where my dog? Finally, we see some police retribution. We see the blue shield go down, the blue wall go down. And who does it? Of course, our canine friends. Now, a lot of dogs have been subjugated to racist practices and have been accomplices in this. In this, we see a police dog doing the right thing when the police officer is doing wrong. That is training. And that is exactly why I say, while we always talk about defund the police, the reason we feel that is because of actions of police officers like that. Let's refund the police. Let's retrain them. Let's retrain them the same way we train these dogs. Let's train them on their actions and their acts and also on how they carry themselves. Clearly, there was no clear and present danger in that moment, and yet this police officer decided to be the big bad bully. And you know who stopped him? A real police officer doing good work in the field, stopping him, biting his ass, and I'm all there for it.
For real.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm all ears.
they rode
I'm all
together.
there.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, y'all, man. That's it for today's stream. Man, look. Just keep it down in that chat, man. Let me know what y'all think about this situation here, man, because it's crazy. It's crazy, man. Like, when the K-9 has got to keep the cop handler in line, yeah. That's crazy. Anyways, y'all. Appreciate y'all for tuning into the channel. I had a piece of hair on my tongue or something. I don't know what, something on my tongue. But anyway, appreciate y'all for tuning into the channel, man. Look, we already do this. I just bring light. I just bring to the light the shit that's happening in our world, man. We got to change it. We don't need to defund the police. We need to, like he said, refund the police. I've been saying that since day one when COVID happened and everybody was talking about, oh, we need to defund the police and we need to do this. Let me tell you like this. Without the police, a lot of y'all bitch ass motherfuckers out there want to be able to survive out here in this world, man. It's a doggy dog world out here, man. If you ain't ready to survive, you ain't ready to kill, you ain't ready to do what you got to do to protect your family out here, to protect yourself, you're going to get ate up by the dogs out here. And I'm letting it keep it real, man. Like, for real out here, man. It's a doggy world. So you got to be ready to play ball. So like I said, we need to keep the streets clean. We need to teach our kids better, all right? Need to be better parents to our kids. We need to keep these streets clean. And we need to keep refunding the police, man. We need to train them just like this K-9 dog's been trained to go ahead and assess situations and be able to assess a situation to see if it's actually needed for aggressive behavior. Because when an officer gets aggressive, that makes everybody else around them become aggressive. And what happens when everybody's aggressive? That's when feelings get to flying, tempers get to flying, bullets get to flying, and needless people get to dying. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead, come together as one. Not divided. Let's not let the government divide us. Let's not let the police divide us, because that's what they're trying to do. They want to keep us separated. They don't want us to fight the machine. All right? They want us to go with the machine. Wake up, everybody, man. We need to change this shit. We need to be the change. You know what I'm saying? I bring these videos to light so everybody can see the wrong that's being done. All right? It's not about race, and it's not about anything. It's not about color. It's not about race. Not about gender. It's about everybody as a whole, man. Nobody should have to be treated like this, and vice versa, man. Y'all gotta keep y'all anger in check. Y'all gotta keep your emotions in check, man. Look, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, appreciate y'all for tuning into the channel, man. Look, I hope y'all have a great Monday, and I love y'all. And like I said,